welcome to the Talon Outdoors show. I'm Charlie.
I'm JD.
I'm Fred.
I'm Captain Paul Tyre.
And I'm Grant.
Hey, Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. Grant, you sure do look spiffy today.
He does.
I think he has a
He's
haircut.
got the vest.
I do have a haircut.
Looks good.
That is a
Haircut.
what kind of that is a like a winter
Yeah,
vest
it's kind of like
underneath the
a
sports
kind
coat?
of a little bit of a thicker winter vest.
Scottish wool.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
a Revolutionary War guy on your.
Yeah, Colonial Man lapel pin.
There you go.
Ready to
Let
go.
me see. Let me see. Yeah.
Well, you look like you got somewhere important to be today, or you were cold when you walked outside this morning.
It's 2026. It is okay. I got to remember the word. What is it? It's not the bicentennial. It's the sesquicentennial.
say that.
America 250.
So Sasquatch is centennial.
Sasquatch is centennial.
There he goes. He's been around for 100 years.
So you're the Bigfoot out there. Man, I tell you what, I was driving so I started out the new year with a new herd of cows. I have been working on trying to double the herd size that I have. Not granted, I've only got about 10 cows, but I wanted to get up to, technically I tripled it because I bought 10 more pairs, cow-calf pairs, a cow and a calf by its side, and these cows should be bred back by this point. And so technically, I got 30 more. It's just that a third of them ain't been born yet.
Yeah.
10 of them are they're
Don't count your chickens before they hatch now.
Yeah. Well, they're September, October calves, beautiful calves, and I got a line on a small closed herd of cows they actually came from my second cousin's son, which is my second cousin once removed. Okay. Right, Grant? You know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
and I was trying to figure this out, and I was driving down the road, and I pushed a little microphone on Google, and I said, "What is my grandmother's sister's grandson as it relates to me?" And it said, "Your second cousins." I'm like, good. Now, what is my grandmother's sister's great grandson to me? And that's your second cousin once removed. I'm like, good. So
That means y'all could date.
Well, I don't want to. And the funny thing is my second cousin, his name's Charlie too. So my wife gets a kick out of us talking on the. Hey Charlie, how you doing, Charlie? I'm all right, Charlie. How you? That's just too many Charlies in the
Kind
mix.
of like Roger in the cockpit.
Roger.
So, yeah, Roger. Over. And over under. So I went up there, and this my second cousin once removed. He was liquidating his herd, and went over there and got him and turned him loose in the cow pasture. And man, it was so pretty. I put it on TikTok on the video. The cows getting out there, and had the sheriff go help me move them. Not the Leon County sheriff, but the Jackson County sheriff, Sheriff Edenfield, went and helped me, and
He helped you move them?
move them. And man, they were so pretty. Almost had a cow. And so now here's where it got funny. So we unloaded these cows. Now that the cows was in one trailer, and I had the other trailer, and we had the calves in there. Well, Cuz didn't fix the bull calves, and so we got to do that. So
You had to fix the bulls?
I had
Make them into steers.
Had to turn them into steers, and so we turned them into catch pen, all right, and we ran them in the chute. So okay, here's the first bull. Well, they're young, so to tell they're a bull, if you can't look, you reach up underneath there and feel. And it's either a young udder or young. Business end of the male. And so we're gonna band them. There's two ways to fix a bull calf. There's a rubber band, big old thick rubber band with a set of pliers that spreads it out, and you drop them in there and let it go. And a few days later, they're gone. Or you can get a real sharp scalpel, or you can get a real sharp pocket knife. JD, you grew up around a real sharp pocket knife. You've seen that happen before. Mm-hmm. Well, the sheriff, being my friend, decides he's going to show my wife how to do this. And my wife, she hopped her happy little tail right up in the chute, and she grabbed her handful in that band, and she was going, and so I'm looking over there, and I got it on video, and I'm sitting there looking, and the sheriff is showing my friend is showing my wife how to do this to a cow, and she looks like she's enjoying it.
You better sleep
in
a different room.
I'm like, I sleep real light. And she goes, "You don't sleep that light?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
I'm going to tell y'all right now, my wife will not hear this show.
And Well,
I'm glad my wife don't listen.
I sat there, and it was fun. It was funny, and I'm sitting there all proud of her and stuff. And I got thinking, I'm like, man, I don't think she needs to know how to do this. She doesn't even know this. She didn't even know this concept. So anyway, we ended up banding 3, and I had to get in there with my real sharp pocket knife and do the other one myself because I just couldn't get rubber band. Poor little old thing. He just didn't have enough to get a rubber band around. But but now look out there. Now I got me a knife. Now I am a tenth of the way to where I want to be long term.
Well, I have a question.
You got 3 of them out there going, "Woo."
That was fun. That was a fun day.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Mickey Mouse cows.
I just had a memory. I just had this memory.
You had cows too?
Oh yeah, I grew up with cows. We had I had about 40 heifers.
Question I want to ask, and I just don't know.
Yeah, they're nasty.
So I was moving cows from one pasture to the other, and because we were going to let the one pasture grow up and cut hay off of it. So I'm moving them to a different pasture, and we had just done this operation that you were talking about with the rubber bands, and I had a little Honda 185S 3-wheeler. I mean, and that's what I used around the farm to move cows with, to feed things. I mean, it was a
Quicker than a horse.
Yeah, way better than a horse. You ain't got to feed it either.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta catch it.
I was moving the herd around, and a couple of the little ones, they get frisky. The old mama cows, you push them, they'll go on it, Well, a couple of them got frisky, and one of them took off to the far end of the pasture, and I'm like, I got everything over there. I went running around behind him, and I'm chasing him across the pasture, running him towards the fence, and I'm going across there, and all of a sudden, I had forgotten that we had put the rubber bands on it, and they fell off.
Oh my.
And while I was chasing him across there,
You got the rubber band.
he was running wide open, and what the rubber bands had intended to do caused him to fall off, and I was just, he was right in front of me, and it was like they bounced up and hit the.
Oh man.
I was the poor thing.
So you ran the balls.
I ran the balls off of that bull.
I'll tell you what.
It wasn't bad because we ate him about a year or so later. One of my jobs every day when I'd get home from school or get off of ball practice, I'd go home and load up a couple 100 pounds of corn. That we grew corn every year. We planted about 25 acres of corn every year, and we'd take it to the mill and get it ground up, and that's what we used to fatten up we'd pull the steers in that we were going to fatten up that year, and I'd have to go load them. And this was 100-pound sacks of corn. So I was, in high school, and I'm playing football, and I'm going home and handling 200 or 300 pound, bags of corn every day, moving them around and feeding them. And I didn't have to go to the weight room. I was
Don't do it.
I was strong, as Jameis says. Strong. Yeah.
There you go.
From picking up them 100-pound sacks of corn.
Then you was squeaking down the street.
I don't realize growing up how heavy things were and how you ended up getting strong. Until I hand my 13. I tell my 13-year-old son go pick up that sack of feed, and he goes over there and pulls on it, and I look at him and I went, "Boy, I've been too soft on you." I've been too soft on you.
Man, I started throwing. When I was 12, 13, I got about where I was strong enough to pick up an old square bale of Bahia grass hay, and by myself, and hoist it up onto the trailer that was,
I thought you allergic.
Yeah.
I was deathly allergic to it. Dude,
y'all bale with string or wire back then?
String.
Yeah.
The string. And boy, you better not bust one of them because somebody was be ugly about that.
You go over there trying to tie that thing back up and get you some more string and tie it back, make up for what you just messed up. But
no, we use that old poly string stuff. The wire's dangerous.
Well, but everybody still.
Our stuff was old.
But when you talk about baling wire, or you talk about, that you're really talking nowadays about electric fence wire. You use that baling wire that's a whole different story.
Oh yeah. No, we had that old whatever polyurethane, old plastic kind of string. But and that hay wagon.
I learned the hard way. You're supposed to cut that off the hay bales. I fed a couple bales full of that wrapped to that stuff to some goats. Some goats one time, and the goats ate it, and it killed about half my herd. You live and you learn, or they die. Anyway, we'll be back. And we're back. On the break, Paul, you asked about why steers and why all the that kind
Why
of stuff.
go to the trouble?
Yeah, I mean it's so in essence if you have cows and you have calves, the heifers, which are the unbred females. So you've got a cow, which is a adult cow who has had a calf. You have a heifer, and a heifer is not a woman. You don't call them. You get in trouble. You say stuff like that. Unless you wife, but you don't do that.
Stop.
It's bad. So a heifer is a female cow that has not had a calf. So you can buy a bred heifer, okay, and you can get them cheaper than a bred cow. Sometimes the problem is then they're young, so you're gonna have a long production life of that heifer when she turns into a cow. But that heifer hadn't never had a calf before. So you're running is she gonna she
be
gonna
problematic.
Birth easily or not? And was she bred to a low birth weight bull? And you got things like that you got to consider. Now when you talk about the males, you got the bull. Everybody knows what a bull is. A steer, everybody hears steer this and steer that. But a steer is a fixed bull, and and you fix them young, and what you get is an increased rate of growth because you've got a male animal, and he's going to grow bigger naturally. But he doesn't have all the male hormones, so you don't have all that.
All the fattening and all the taste is better
Right.
for the beef production and all that.
Same thing when you're raising pigs. So you've got a boar hog, and then you have a fixed boar hog, which is a barrow, and a barrow is that's going to grow faster. And if you're buying calves at the sale, your steers will bring more than your heifers because they're going to grow out and be bigger.
Yeah.
They're going to be worth more in the long run. And so with a pig, pigs, you cycle them pretty quick. I mean, you don't have them long for you're butchering them. But you've got the sows, which are an adult female sow who has had pigs, a female pig, hog. And then you've got the young females that have not had pigs, and they're called gilts. So you got gilts and barrows, and then you've got boars and sows.
And those are the ones you show in the fair, barrows and gilts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And actually, the herd that I just bought, one of the things I like most about it was a closed herd. There wasn't a bunch of sale barn cows that had come in there. Never sale barn cows. They were all individually purchased, and they were show heifers that had gone and won blue ribbons, and some were purebred Angus, and some were purebred Simmental, and some are 1/4, 3/4, one way or the other, 50-50 splits, and they're all pets. You can go up there and pet all. I mean, it's just an awesome. It was a heck of a buy. It wasn't cheap, but it was a heck of a buy, and it was a herd built by a young man and his brother and sister that had shown these cows, and I've got really, really lucky to happen up amongst this thing. Now, the funny thing wasn't all that. I was driving up there, and I got my 13-year-old boy CJ with me, and we're driving along, and I had to introduce him to Jeff Foxworthy. He didn't know who Jeff Foxworthy was, and he had never heard the "you might be a redneck" thing. He's 13. Here's the thing is, and if you go I'm driving along, and I said, boy, I just got reminded of one of the "you might be a redneck" things, and he looked at me funny. I said, "From Jeff Foxworthy, son." He looked at me, and he didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, "You never heard of Jeff Foxworthy?" I said, "Hang on a minute." I said, "It's blue collar comedy." And so I just said, I said the A word on the thing, the sounds like Relaxa, but it's, play Jeff Foxworthy, "You might be a redneck." And if I say the word, then somebody's radio will mess up.
Change the channel.
So it starts playing, and I realized that most of Jeff Foxworthy's "You Might Be a Redneck" doesn't resonate with this younger generation, because there's not a whole lot of, there is, but it ain't as many houses with, wobbly boxes with jacked up cars in the yard and all that kind of stuff. Ain't like it used to be. And what do y'all...
I didn't understand
I'm
something.
having to explain your own joke under the table to Fred.
Oh, okay.
Proceed, sorry.
Okay. So anyway, we're riding along, and I look over out the corner of my eye, and I see this sign I see a sign to a funeral home, and it's got a different spelling to it, and I'm going, I wonder if they pronounce it this way or that way. If you pronounce it with the French accent, then it's so and so. And I look over at the thing, and it's a really nice funeral home. And I said, that's a nice place. And that's a big old, nice, pretty, beautiful white hearse limousine, stretch limousine under there.
You got a point.
And
to
backed up to it, backed up under the same shed on the side of the funeral home was a big old bass boat. I said,
be a redneck.
and I told CJ, I said, see right there, boy, if you park your bass boat under the same shed as your stretch limousine hearse at your funeral home, you might be a redneck.
That is.
And in retrospect, looking back, I got thinking about it, and it was white, so it was probably a bay boat or a flats boat, which is a little higher class, but still. I was like, hey, man, I'm sitting there going, we're going to go to the funeral. And I apologize for y'all over in Chipley that use that place, but the
What the dead guy?
Maybe he wanted to go off to eternity.
I wonder if maybe the guy passed away and that was his last wish. I don't know. I didn't get it. I just looked over there and I was like, well.
So you're a family and Uncle Festus dies and you going up to the funeral home. There's a doggone bass boat sitting there next to the hearse. You're like, okay.
I mean, maybe
Well, that's for them burials at sea.
Maybe.
I want to spread Grandpa's ashes out. All right, we got you covered.
Got that covered.
Put it out there in Lake Seminole.
Meet you
River, creek, or
Meet you
flats.
down
You
at the
want
boat
salt
landing.
water? We got it all covered. We can't get that boat out there, but we got a John boat. We can get out and do that on the creeks.
So I get a call from a guy over the weekend. It was New Year's, so you imagine
You're
I
busy.
could get
Yeah.
a few calls. Apparently got pulled over. The cop comes up and said, what's your name? He says, David. He says, do you have a stutter? He says, no, I don't have a stutter. My dad did, but the guy that filled out my birth certificate was an a-hole.
Oh, Lord.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, I got named my daddy. They called my mom had called my daddy. Go, what we gonna name this boy? And my daddy, being the joker he is, go just name him Charlie Brown. And my name to this day is Charles Brown Strickland, and that was a joke. And I have fought, literally been in fights over that. Charlie Brown, he's a clown. You know, Charlie Brown, where's Snoopy? Well, you kicked that football lately? Or just then there was the Charlie the Tuna jokes, and there was all the man. I tell you what, I have fought. It's like naming your boy Sue.
Mm-hmm. So my youngest son for Christmas gave me a round of golf at that new Wakulla Sands course, which is really nice. And they treat you really nice out there. People that play out there or not. So I went out there and played with him, and I'm looking over, and there's a guy playing golf, and he's got a Fred Flintstone golf outfit on. And I'm like,
that's my people right there.
The smock.
I'm on Amazon, like, where is that thing? My son's like, do you think he like puts his feet on the golf cart? And
Did it have pants? Did it have pants with it, or was it just?
Yeah, he had the pants. It
Well, Fred Flintstone didn't wear pants.
No, but he had black pants on, but the thing came down and he had a hat that matched, and I'm like, that is just bad act.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's right
you
up your alley.
I could wear that, and then of course my wife looks it up and says they don't have it in your size.
Oh, did y'all see?
Right.
Did y'all see the the picture that Fred did? Well, yeah, y'all are in the group text. I did. Fred took the picture of him with his tuxedo on, with his feathery bow tie and all. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, I was going to.
That's pretty neat.
New Year's party, had it all. I was all decked out, having a tuxedo.
And the minute I got that picture, I got into the AI photographic stuff and started going, okay, make that 00 Agent 5 foot 00, making short work of the enemy, and posted it back. Well, I said, put a martini in his hand. I tried to put a Walther in his, but the dadgum AI won't let you do guns.
Oh my God.
I even tried for a water gun. I said, well, just put a water gun in. It said, it wouldn't do that. We'll put a martini in there, though. Sorry to be drunk. Just don't defend yourself.
You know, the good thing about a cummerbund is you can
tuck it in.
Yeah, you can
tuck a gun in there easy.
You tuck a gun in there.
Yeah.
And I had my little sea camp, carried just in case some people got out of line.
You never know.
You know.
You never know at a New Year's Eve party.
At a New Year's Eve party.
Well, I was looking at the news, and it talked about somewhere over in Europe, Iceland or Greenland or one of them places over there, And and I saw, and I'm so used to active shooter and mass murders, and it said, dozens dead under fire, blah, 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 blah. And I thought somebody had shot up a nightclub on New Year's Eve. No, it was an actual fire. Like fire. This bartender picked up another bartender and put her on his shoulders, and she had a candle in her hand for some reason and caught the ceiling on fire and killed dozens of people. Yeah, caught the whole bar on fire. Whole place just went up in flames, and I'm sitting there, I'm reading the thing going, so when did they start shooting at each other? But apparently it wasn't. It was just
a bartender with a candle.
I'm going to tell on myself, I kind of didn't think about it being New Year's Eve, and I went to bed about 9:30, and because I was tired, and drove back. I drove 8 hours on New Year's Eve from Miami back to Tallahassee, and I'd
have drove 8 hours to get away from that place too.
Well, I got home, I was tired, went to bed early, and I'm laying there, and right about midnight, everybody in Killearn Lakes decided to shoot off fireworks. So I come up out of that because I had been in Miami, and I had been in Miami for 2.5 days after the cruise down there. So I was already wound up from being down there around. I'm nervous the whole time I'm down there for the most part. But so yeah, it woke me. All the fireworks. I come up out of the bed ready for war.
Well, I don't know if I'd rather. I think I'd rather be in Miami than New York City, but only because I can carry a gun around Miami. Well, I can't carry one around New York City. But as far as the culture, I think I'd rather be in New York City.
I'm gonna tell you, this was probably the first trip to Miami I've ever been to where I wasn't. It was not bad. It was really not bad. The climate has changed down there a lot, I think.
Good.
So, yeah.
All right, well, we'll be right back. And we're back.
I want to know about the cruise.
Yes, tell us about the cruise.
Cruise was fun. It was good. It was Margaritaville.
Oh, your cruise, not that other one we were talking about.
Not that other one.
How was the food?
It was good. Yeah, it wasn't like I've been on a cruise before that was an adult only cruise that was MCS. Come on, man. It was the MCS, which was a Meridian or a Mediterranean cruise line that opened up in the Caribbean, and Annie and I went on that, and it was fancy. The food was really fancy and all that stuff.
I bet it was.
Y'all didn't hear the conversation on the break.
Y'all get me wound up now, and it's gonna be ugly. I'm gonna hurt
Bunch
somebody's
of pineapples on there.
No, it wasn't that. No, it wasn't. Anyway,
did they have all you could eat ice cream?
They did have all you could eat ice cream. They had a 24-hour buffet that was always open and all that stuff. But on your main meal at night, it was just you went in, you ordered off a menu. That's what you got. It wasn't bring me every entree, and like some of the cruises can get extravagant with it. But it was a lot of fun. They had karaoke bars. They had a lot of contests and music stuff because it was Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. So a lot of music-related games and stuff going on, and a lot of participation, and it was fun.
Cool.
Have a casino?
Yeah, they did.
Did you win anything?
Kind of broke even. Yep. I played blackjack for about 2 hours, and by the time I tipped the dealer, I broke even. So.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah,
you didn't lose anything.
No, I didn't lose anything. I can play blackjack.
So did they stop at like islands and things, or
we went to Grand Bahama.
Did you go to Nassau, or
no? We did not go to Nassau. It was just it was only a 3-night cruise. So we went straight over to Grand Bahama. Spent the day on the island. The girls went to the beach, swam with the hogs.
Oh, they did the swimming with the pigs.
Yeah, they did the pigs. They let the pigs out, and then I sat up at the bar and listened to reggae music and drank some pineapple or not pineapple. What was it? It was grapefruit flavored beer. Yeah, it was good. Is low alcohol content beer. I sat in the shade, man. I'm not going to go sit on that beach and just cook.
Did they go in the water?
Yeah.
What was the temperature?
Cool. They said it was pretty cold. I think it was 70. Yeah, the high temp the day we were on Grand Bahama was only like 76 degrees, so it wasn't warm by any.
What about the pools on the ship? Were they heated, or?
I don't know. I didn't get in them.
Well, did the kids?
Nah. Nobody
got in the pools?
Nah. They laid out on the deck and then got some sun and laid out on the deck. I sat in the shade.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How about the room? Was it nice?
Yeah, room was real nice.
How many rooms you have?
2.
2 for the girls? And
no, the girls had their own room, and me and Mama had our own room.
Counselor, are you going somewhere with this line of questioning?
No, I'm just very curious.
Yeah, a little too much so, Fred. No, we were at adjoining rooms. They were right next to us. It was nice.
Oh, okay. Did they have like balconies?
Not on the level we were on.
But you could get them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. They had balcony. It's a small boat. It's an old the Margaritaville. They actually got a new ship coming out online, so it'll give them 3. But it was an old Bahamas. I looked up the history of the ship. It was it was a Bahamas cruise line from back in the day that they bought the old boats and completely refurbished them.
Okay.
And,
So I've never been on a cruise, but my wife is.
So nobody got seasick.
Going on one in April, I think.
You could, Paul. We could have taken our bass boat.
Oh, okay.
Did you book one of those
flat.
adult cruises, Fred?
I don't know what kind of cruise it is. Something.
Well, you can better check and see what kind it is, because they got different kinds now.
I can handle it.
Like I said, I don't know.
Well, they better not book you on like a Disney cruise or anything.
No,
You'll make some
wouldn't.
parents nervous.
I would.
The first cruise I ever went on was the one I was talking about that Annie and I went on, was MSC Cruise Line, which is the Mediterranean, and they had just come across and started doing stuff in the Bahamas. Now, and it's an Italian cruise line. You talk about fancy food, and they did on that one. They did a thing one night where all the chefs on board got to show out, and they did all this fruit sculpture and ice sculptures and had it all around the pool, and you basically go around and say the food and all that. That was more of a grown-up theme stuff. They didn't have all the.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to the Bahamas like more times than I count, but just never done a cruise.
Yeah, it was fun. I had a good time.
All right, then we'll be back in just a minute. And we're back. So it's the first of the year, so there's no more $200 tax stamps.
Yeah.
No more tax stamps. I'll tell you what, I was up here the other day, and business was booming. And, well, it was poofing. There was a bunch of cans going out the door. There wasn't no booming going on, but I walked in here, and there was people all around the counter, and there were cans sitting all over the counter in there. And I'm like, I had to jump in and start helping to fingerprint somebody. And it's been a minute.
Just as expected, when Matt started trying to do the process and the paperwork on all this stuff that's been on hold, it's things ain't working exactly like they're supposed to with the federal government's computer system, but I fully expected that, and we've warned people about that, so it'll take it a while for it to get I think the system it's hard for us to even log into the system right now, and I think it's just the system is overwhelmed. Matt said he got on there last night at midnight and tried to start prepping stuff last night at midnight, and couldn't even get logged in because it's just a lot of people doing what we're doing.
It's kind of like the Y2K thing everybody's scared about back in the day. This is the whole similar, except in our little world.
It's going to be interesting to see
class 3 items.
It's going to be interesting to see if they come up with a total front load, if you will, of how many suppressors around the country are going to be applied for, the Form 4s submitted in the first couple of weeks. I think that number will go over 1 million. I really do, just based on how many we have in waiting and how many gun stores everybody's talking about. This, the guys that I've talked to that are in the business that are all doing the same thing we are. They're all, Well,
a lot of them are not Florida people. They don't have this tax issue.
What I want is the equivalent of Trump's new $1 million immigration gold card, but I want it for gun owners.
Yes.
And if you are a law-abiding citizen, passed all the background checks, and you've been judged sane and everything else, and just I don't want to pay no $1 million for it, but I want something. Just give me a gold card, and then I can go buy whatever I want whenever I want to.
I've been advocating for a good guy card for years, and I know some people go, "Oh, we shouldn't have to have." You're right, we shouldn't have to have.
If you're in the Trump organization out there, here's your opportunity right here.
I will gladly pay whatever fee it takes for them to process my background check. Because there's money. I mean, there's time and effort involved in that. When you assign an investigator to me, come talk to my neighbors if you want to. Whatever it takes, give me a good guy card where I can have whatever it is I want and walk out the door with it without all this silly paperwork stuff.
Yeah, be nice.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is,
just keep your good guy card on file.
There is a way, because if you, like in the state of Florida, if you have a security license, an armed or unarmed security license, so if you have a D is unarmed, G is armed, and I have a security company, and so my people that have a D a G license, meaning they can carry a gun. Okay, the Department of Agriculture monitors their background constantly. Now, you go get a concealed weapons permit, same thing. They keep tabs on what you got going on. But you can go down and get a class. You can go get a level 2 background check done at the school board as a volunteer, whatever. Well, they don't know if you got in trouble. They just know that you passed a background check on such and such a date.
You ain't currently in trouble.
Right. But the thing is if you get one of these licenses, it's very much like a driver's license. You get so many tickets and points and all that. But if you get arrested in wherever that they track, so if you're in Miami and you get arrested on the weekend and it's a charge that could potentially cost you your armed license, within a few days, you'll get a notification saying your license is under review and you can no longer carry a gun under this security license. I mean, this thing happens within hours.
Wow.
You can't tell me that I should have to go in every single time I buy a gun and I have to undergo this hours long, because in the state of Florida, depending on how busy, sometimes it comes back in 30 seconds or a minute. Sometimes it comes, the national check comes back in a matter of 30 or 40 seconds. In Florida, they go because they require a person to lay their hand on that thing and double check everything, because there may be somebody with a similar name in another county and they want to look at all this stuff. But they go to do this exhaustive background check on you every single time. And depending on how busy they are, you may be that you may be here for 4 or 5 hours waiting on that background check to come back. And you can't tell me that there's not a system where you can issue me a card that's in a database, and if I get in trouble or something happens or somebody files an injunction against me or something happens, anything out there, that they then go suspend that, notify me, put it back in the database, and when I show up and we take that good guy card and scan it, we go,
you ain't a good guy no more.
Right. Your good guy rights have been suspended.
So this is a Wiregrass segment, right?
No,
this is Tallahassee right here.
Oh, okay. What's the Wiregrass segment next?
That was last.
We talked about me going on a cruise on the 5.
On the Wiregrass. Wait a minute. The cruise is gone only on the Wiregrass? Well, that was a good segment.
Yeah, well,
it was.
Doggone it.
Tell your friends to stream it.
Well, I went and shot mallards.
I saw that.
Yeah. In Charlie's neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm. Over in Chipley or wherever.
Exactly. In Bascom, Florida.
Bascom.
It was that place that we've been invited to before.
That's where the Johnson side of my family's from.
Okay. Well,
Bascom and Two Egg and Malone up there.
Well, we've actually put flyers up for him before here at the shop for some of his tower shoots and stuff.
I think what happens is we need to talk about his specific location on the radio in exchange for a mallard hunt.
Y'all killed a bunch of them, didn't you?
Ooh, man, let me tell you, they were coming in droves. I mean, they must have been 400, 500 ducks. And they were coming in, I mean, in packs of 30. And it's like when a covey of quail hops up and you're like, oh, which one do I shoot? Which one do I shoot? And they would, and
you take the plug out and get after it.
Well, I'm shooting.
You're going to pay for them.
Yeah, you're going to pay for them. So you could get 6 for $375, I think is what it was, and then any bird over that was $45.
That ain't bad.
I ended up shooting 7. We had one guy with us shot 11 over. I mean, he got addicted to it, and he's like, "This is work." He's a doctor.
And this is because it's a hunting preserve, and they have different rules there. And when I saw your picture, you said, "Well, I'm duck hunting," and I saw that there was mallards in there, and I said, "You go somewhere or hunting local?" You went local. I said, "I knew exactly where you were hunting because there ain't but one place around you can do that."
Yeah, and it was
one.
Yeah,
it was good. Good shooting. These birds were. I mean, they flying in there. I actually missed a couple.
Well,
I was happy because
it makes it challenging.
Because usually I don't miss big birds, and it was a lot of fun. Put it that way.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, I could tell the way y'all were dressed.
Yeah,
and you shooting over and unders too. You wasn't for real. I took Charlie on a for real duck hunt one time out in Mississippi shooting wild birds.
Beautiful.
Well, and that's one of them things where if you don't look up at them, if you look up at them, they will turn and go the other way if they see your eyes.
My brother's out in Arkansas, and he just sent me a text about 10, 15 minutes ago. This is their mallard.
Nice.
Their mallard harvest this morning.
Looks like some other mallards in there too.
Yeah, they got some other stuff in there too. I don't know what it is, but anyway, he's out there with my nephew. That was his Christmas present. Took him out there. So I mean,
there's let's see, that's 1, 2. There's at least 5 pintails right there. 5 Drake pintails. There's a hen pintail. There's some gadwalls. There's some a lot of mallards. Let's see, a lot of orange feet there. That's a heck of a day right there, buddy.
That's not bad. I mean,
there's a bunch of duck hunting. I was crossing the Chipotle River on Magnolia Road coming over here this morning. Looked down there, and there was 2 good old boys and a duck blind John boat down there. I said, I know what they've been doing. Yeah, on the river.
Probably up in one of those sloughs down there. They were framalamming them this morning on Lake Ammonia.
Were there a lot of shooting over there?
There was for a weekday morning, which right now we're a special. Ammonia is usually Saturday, Sunday, Wednesdays. That's it.
Yeah.
All of Leon County is that way, except for holidays, and today's considered a holiday. So there was a good bit of shooting this morning up there.
Yeah, my son was out there, got a gadwall the other day. Mm-hmm. So yeah, duck hunting's good. I mean, right from what I hear,
move them down.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's that cold front that just.
You see a bunch this morning? You were on the lake this morning.
Sure was. Didn't see a bunch this morning. Did see a few. Yeah. I was over on the Chattahoochee side yesterday. Saw a lot of duck hunters with their decoys. And, you're looking across there, I was telling the person I was with, look, isn't it neat how their face is glowing like an angel? I wonder if the ducks see that.
Absolutely, they do. That's why you don't look up at them. That's why you keep your head down. Yeah, it's amazing how much you with duck hunting, you got to stay covered up. And they pick up the movement.
That's why you wear a mask.
Yep. Absolutely, is why you wear a mask. Their brain is a lot smaller than their eyeballs.
All right, be right back. And we're back. So on the broke.
On the broke. It was.
My mouth was broke. We were, yeah. So we were talking about being on the water and duck hunting, and we were talking about blinds and permanent blinds and the fact you can't do that no more.
Yeah, FWC I think used it as a impeding navigation. The reality of the why you can't put blinds on public water anymore, I think, has more to do with the blind wars, the conflicts that came about because of blinds. Because, back in the day on Miccosukee, I built the blind on Miccosukee every year, and for years. And everybody around me built their blinds, and we all kind of knew each other, and everybody's that's their spot, and this is our. So, but what would happen is you get somebody new would come in, and you just spent all this time and effort building a blind, and then you go out there opening morning, and there's somebody in your blind. And we would put our name, back in those days, we'd write our name on the inside of the blind, and everybody pretty much respected the fact that was your blind, and on the opening morning or on a season break open, because you got a early season, and then it goes out for a little bit.
Back when we had a high trust society and people respected things like
that. When there was things like
respect. Jackson.
Yeah, when there was a respectful society and people understood that you spent time, effort, and money putting into this thing, they would respect that, at least on opening day. An opening day of a break. Now, if it was the second day, third day, whatever, first come, first serve, get up early. That's all I tell you. If you want to sit in your blind, you better beat somebody else there, especially if you had a nice one. So people would get mad, and they would go out there with gasoline, set them on fire, break them down. I've had somebody steal the wood out of my blind and my stuffing and all that stuff and go move it 300 yards, and I go looking around, and I find my 2x4 with my name on it. I'd put my initials on all my wood that I put up out there.
And that's when JD burned her blind down.
That was when I repossessed my lumber that I paid for and moved it back to where I wanted it. So, yeah, I mean, there was not nearly as much silliness, but it got to be, and I honestly blame the TV show Duck Dynasty.
You think that's what did it?
Yeah, it got a lot of people. Duck hunting is not for the faint of heart.
No,
it is not. It is cold. It is early. It is wet.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like I tell people, it is not for young folks. It's not for old folks. It's not for old folks.
I mean, you got to get out there, throw them decoys out at 3 and 4 in the morning, and
yeah. But now
you might have to push a boat out of the flats when the tide goes out
for a mile.
For a mile.
That morning is when I realized I ain't a young man anymore.
I mean, and you got your gloves, and they're not working, and hands are just. frozen and
yeah. So back in those days,
Fred has to find shallow water to wade around in.
that's even worse.
So yeah, I mean, it's duck hunting. I've absolutely still to this day love it. I just understand my limitations at this point, being almost 60 years old. That's not. That ain't for me no more. I do a duck hunt like you just did. Mm-hmm. That's not a lot of work.
Oh no, we walked out about 9 in the morning,
dude. Yeah. Well, I one of the last times I went on public land duck hunting, I carried a big, huge bag of decoys about a mile across Kansas prairie to get to the spot. I could see the spot from where I parked the truck.
Oh.
And it looked like just flat, nice grass all the way over to this lake over there that you could see right down there. There's the lake. Until you get out there and start walking in that stuff and realize it ain't flat ground. There's holes and potholes and ditches and all this stuff, and you got a giant.
There's some CRP in South Dakota that's like that.
Exactly. If you can imagine walking through a mile of that, but you're carrying your shotgun and your
decoys
and
shells.
You've got a Santa Claus sized sack of decoys on your back. And I realized that day, thankfully on that trip when we got over there, got the decoys put out. I was exhausted. I'm laying there flat on my back in the snow in the cattails, just about asleep, and I hear and look up, and there is literally 25 mallards cupped up trying to come into the decoys. What was really bad is my limit was over with in about 5 minutes, and now I'm looking at my truck now I know how far away it is, and it's way over yonder. I almost donated them decoys to the next guy to come over there to go hunting, because I sure dreaded carrying them all the way back across that thing.
You do that in Canada, and what they do is, you got to set these silhouette things. It's trying to stab them into the ground. Yeah. You're stabbing them into the ground, the ground's frozen.
Yeah.
And your feet are just.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you got to
lay
down in
there
the coffin
you'll see them
blinds.
flapping their wings.
Yeah.
You lay down in these doggone coffin blinds, and they're on the ground.
Yeah.
And you just freeze.
And it's cold.
I mean, it's worth it when they start coming in.
You forget that's just
paid how much to do this, and these things don't even eat good.
And and you shoot these geese, and you're like, ugh, this thing is nasty.
Yeah.
I'll tell y'all what, yesterday I had a trip with parents come down had an 11-year-old boy and an 8-year-old girl. They're doing FWC is having a program for the youth. You can catch 20 saltwater fish and 20 freshwater, different kinds. And
different species. Yep.
And they were coming, they wanted to catch a pickerel, a white bass, a hybrid, and a striper. And we went out and was fishing yesterday, and they caught everything but a striper. But I had such a good time. That's a neat thing to get kids involved in fishing, saltwater fish and freshwater. I'm going to try to do some research, find out exactly what that was. But that was really neat.
You'd find out
I had
more
a
about
great
that.
time with them. Yeah.
Right. So they didn't catch striper.
They didn't get to catch striper. No, we
Have you caught a striper yet this year?
Oh yes, we caught some, but they're not doing it big time yet.
When's that coming?
I'm hoping it's in between now and the February. If it don't happen, it ain't going.
Between now and February.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Terry Nelson, if you hear that.
All right. But I tell you, we found a school of little white bass. They must have been 500 of them. And you drop using crappie jigs, drop it down there, and they're just going after it, hitting on it. It was cool. You'd hit them because they got little small mouths, and they were small now, about that big.
Yeah.
But it was fun watching them kids had a blast.
They catch a bass?
Yep, they caught some bass too.
Bigger?
Sure did. Biggest one was about 3 pounds. Little girl hooked one in the eye. I told the boy, I said, your sister's going to catch one for you. He said, no, she won't. I said, you watch. She threw out there, hooked him right in the eyeball.
So now you got
a one-eyed bass.
I got a one-eyed bass.
Did you give him a patch or anything to put on?
She said that I need to give him a patch. I said, no, he'll be okay. But that was anytime you can take a kid, it's so worth it. Just see their excitement when they're fighting and fishing, And I told them, I said, we're going to go over here. We're going to let y'all catch a bass. They said, really? And I was like, what's your biggest bass? And the little kid said, about 10 pounds. I said, oh, good. Okay. How about you, young lady?
10 pounds.
But I wanted to tell everybody, end of the year this year were 280 personal bests.
Really?
It was incredible. Most I've ever had in one personal best bass or crappie or
280 bests. So how many trips did you do this year?
Oh, probably 300
25.
something. 300 something.
300 something. Did you count?
Well, I don't. They add when this time changes. I actually do 2 a day, so
Okay.
it adds up.
Yeah.
All right. That's a lot
Just
of time.
incredible.
You booked this weekend?
Yes, sir.
All right. What you got?
I've got a trip. Actually, I got someone waiting on me. I took them out this morning. The first time I got up on the front of the boat, the guy hit me in the back of the head with a chatterbait.
I'd make him
And
wait a little longer.
I'm done. I put my rod down. I said, I'm going to sit right down here. And when y'all ready to go to the next spot, you tell me, brother. So I got to go back and finish up the day with them, and hopefully it'll be.
I got a
helmet.
I got a ballistic helmet in there in my.
Let me take it and show up at the boat. I'm going in their boat, and I'll be like, I'm ready now, brother. I can get up front and fish.
You should do that.
I got a Kevlar helmet.
Let
in
me
there.
take it. I'll bring it back next week. But not great guys are from Atlanta. They got some kids that are fishing a tournament in January, at the end of January. So looking forward to getting up there and going with them. They're waiting on me right now.
Oh, okay. Well, you tell them you come talking on the radio?
Yes, I said I'm going to tell them about you hit me in the head with that chatterbait and how I had to sit back down. I was done. I had to get under the console.
Maybe we got some more fans
Yeah.
from Atlanta or something.
I've been hit twice in 35 years.
Twice? Only twice?
Well, I try to prepare for that. This day he got me.
It
Snuck again this afternoon.
Well, it didn't hook
Charlie.
you or nothing.
No,
right?
I had like 3 or 4 layers on. It just
No, but that's a
it
one
hit me and
probably
lifted me up like that. I was like, "Whoa!" I'm
3/4 ounce chatterbait at 65 miles an hour
Yeah.
probably didn't feel too good.
I was like, "Oh, okay."
I'm bringing my fly rod when I go with you.
That rattle trap ain't never moved that fast coming across water to get that thing and get back.
Paul said I hadn't drank near enough to make this fun.
But what an awesome year this year with the fishing with the kids.
Let me ask you a question. I remember coming up, most everybody on the water was about half drunk. There was beer cans floating around everywhere. Now, maybe I just went fishing with the wrong people as a kid, but
Maybe so.
I remember riding back and it was, it was beer cans everywhere. There ain't much of that anymore.
No,
Most
sir.
people fishing and take it pretty serious.
Well, serious fun, but no.
Don't bring a six-pack to this
No,
group, though.
They do BUIs. I never had one because I
yeah, they do.
Fred, but
And I'll take them.
I don't drink and participate.
Well, it's
in
mostly
boat.
recreational boating there then.
Yes,
Not
yes, yes.
That's your wake boat
I
ski
just remember
crowd.
a couple times wondering if I was going to make it home with Daddy and
I
his
can
best buddies
imagine.
from the river because, yeah, it was maybe it's just like I said that maybe that's just Daddy.
Happy New Year.
Yeah,
everybody.
thanks, bro.